UFC 247 takes place February 8th at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. I will be cage-side for that. Looking forward to it. But the main event, Jon Jones, potentially the greatest of all time, against the undefeated upstart in Dominick Reyes. Now, we said it, Dan Tom, Bones is one of the greatest to ever compete in this sport. There's no question about it. And he's still fighting at a very high level right now. I think most people are going to be leaning his direction. But Dominick Reyes, you know, a lot of momentum behind him. And I said this undefeated record and a physical specimen as well. But does he have a real path to victory here?
I think he does, and, you know, as you're saying, Houston, Texas, I believe a big upset of George St. Pierre and Matt Serra took place there. And as we were talking about, you know, decades and whatnot, our decades in MMA tend to start off with the legends taking L's, like undefeated legends like Fedor, who started off last decade taking his first loss, or even Lyoto Machida. You know, so far Conor McGregor made the roll call so far this year. Now Jon Jones is up on deck to say, am I here, or like you said, is this challenge or this underdog going to kind of, you know, repeat that history that I sprinkled? But woo-woo aside, you guys want to know the techniques, I'm sure. And honestly, I think Reyes does have a chance here, and it's not just the proverbial puncher's chance. You know, when I went back to look at my breakdown for Thiago Santos versus Jon Jones, now I picked Jon Jones like everybody else, John, but of course Thiago Santos, he made that a lot closer. And how did he make it closer? Well, he did it kind of like I portended in my breakdown, is that if you can pressure Jon Jones, get him into a kickboxing contest and or counter his kicks, I believe that is the key to doing what really, aside from, you know, the asterisks of Matt Hamill, really no one's been able to do to Jon Jones.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, look, I mean, Dominick Reyes is a phenomenal athlete. There's no question about that. And it seems like there's a little heat between these two now, which that press conference that kicked it off made it a little fun. So a little more flavor to this fight as well. But look, when we break down fights of all-time greats like this, the easy pick is to go, hey, I'm going with Jon Jones, right? I'm going with the champ to keep his belt. But what do you say, Dan Tom? Are you in that boat where it's just like, hey, man, nobody's beating Jon Jones, so I'm going that way until I see otherwise? Or are you going to maybe lean towards an upset this time?
This is tough. You're using the word lean, and right now I'm leaning toward Jon Jones, and I'll tell you why. But I don't want to sound like I'm hedging here, John. I'm pretty straightforward with the audience as far as my breakdown and my analysis. But I dived into this one early, John, and I am still swimming deep. That's how much I love this matchup. But right now I am leaning toward Jones to either get it done by decision, because in 5-round fights, Jon Jones, even since his first 5-round fight, he fights through him naturally. He's a natural round winner. Sure, Reyes is a southpaw, but you look at his first southpaw assignment in Lyoto Machida, and Jon Jones, that's a fight where he starts switching stances. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is crazy like that. He is that talented. However, like I kind of said in the first section of this breakdown, John, if Reyes can get him into a kickboxing matchup and counter those kicks, that's going to be what to look for here. Even in dominant victories, Jon Jones, it's not uncommon, John, to see him limping off the battlefield. The kicks, the defending of the kicks, and the countering of the kicks will be Reyes' path. Will I pick him? I may actually pull a left curveball. You're going to have to check my breakdown at MMA Junkie. But right now, yes, I am leaning by Jon Jones by decision, because I'm not sure he's going to be able to take Reyes down.
I'll tell you what, I'm smiling just because I get excited to know that you're still watching the tape and still going back and forth. That leads me to believe maybe this will be a more exciting fight than maybe some people are thinking. Yes. So, as he said, make sure you check the written version as well to see if he's, you know, kind of switched things last minute, because that'll publish later. And, of course, stick it to MMA Junkie all week long for full coverage of UFC 247.